progress. So tonight's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. And I'm going to share a lot of my experience as well, being a management consultant and also being an entrepreneur now, and how much I've been able to learn and how much I've been able to see many people build from where they were and be able to overcome certain hurdles. So I want to get to the first slide so we can make progress. So what we shall cover tonight, we're going to cover mainly two things. The first thing is we're going to cover why this session is important. Why should you spend about 40 to an hour of your time right now session. That's what I want to be able to start dealing with in building youth. The second thing I want to look at for the 7 startups fail, and this is targeted to be able to help reasons. And the object is that by the end of this session, all participants access of failure. Okay, by the end of this session, all participants, you and I, any person who will join us as we keep going, the end of this session, we should all be able to identify the key areas for startup success or failure. So if you haven't already got your notebook, make sure you have it. Make sure you're ready to get notes. Make sure you're not distracted as we get into it. So this is a program brought to you by Dear Capital Development Entrepreneurs. It's a mentorship program run by Make Live International, a company I happen to be the CEO of and founder. And this particular program is the Entrepreneurs Act program that we hold every Sundays between 20:30 to 21:30 hours. And this is our episode 3. We've already done 2 others. And if you want to join and be part of the sessions that we have, we can look at an amazing topic. So now getting into tonight's session, we're going to deal with quite a lot. The first thing is why this session is important. I don't know if you're aware, but 90%, according to studies done, this number has seemed to stay consistent over the years. Over 90% of all startups don't 10% and 50 million per year, as established in research done by Federally. The people that have delved deeply into studying the startup organizations, the startup business segment. And they've carried out this research and they've seen that over 137,000 businesses are birthed every day. So you can imagine today, many businesses have been birthed, registered, born, and 90% of those businesses, for the most part, don't actually make it. It's a shockingly huge amount of businesses that actually don't make it. And my goal tonight is to see that your business will make it. So if you are excited and you believe your business will make it, then this session is for you. And let me also show you with you some few things about businesses as well, why we're doing this tonight. Startup failure rate varies based on industry. And this is something maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but the industry that you start in has got a great impact. There are some industries that are harder to succeed in. It could be for a number of reasons. It could be the policies. It could be the policies in that nation. But on statistic basis, these are some numbers that show you as to how the failure rate is in certain industries. You can see that more businesses in the information sector actually fail as compared to the finance, insurance, and real estate businesses. You can see the education sector and health, about 44% actually fail in approximation. Remember, these are statistics. They're not fixed rates. They change across times and states, but this comes from a report done in 2020 across the board and different particular data gathered. Agriculture businesses, about 44% fail. Mining, 49%. Manufacturing, about 51%. Construction, about 53%. And information businesses at about 63%. And my personal reservation about information business as to why these numbers hit 63%. Having been a person that's within this industry in a sense, one of the reasons is that information is consistently growing obsolete. And by obsolete, I mean today's information tomorrow may be totally rendered useless because of improvements, consistency that happens. And so you find many people in the information business says don't thrive actually for that reason. And I hope you're learning quite a lot. I know there are other industries not completely covered here, but I believe there's top industry segments. So whatever service you're delivering, yesterday with entrepreneurs, we looked at how to sell services. And it's good for you to know that about 45% of businesses in the service space don't actually make it. And I'm going to teach you tonight, show you why those businesses don't make it so that you won't do what is done for people not to make it, and so that you do the right things and actually make it. If you like that, go ahead and just type in the chat box and say, yes, I like that, so that we keep on making progress. So the second thing tonight is what we're looking at is the 7 crucial reasons startups actually fail. The 7 crucial reasons. This is what most of you are here tonight for. You want to find out why startups really fail, and I'm going to share them with you. And to approach this, there are 7 key areas that startups fail. Okay, 7 key areas, and these 7 key areas are 7 key areas of business that startups have to be able to grow into. And the reasons why most startups fail is because in these 7 key areas, startups fail by doing these key areas wrong. I hope that you get to understand that. So tonight we're looking at the 7 crucial reasons startups fail. But the reasons why they fail is because they don't do the 7 key areas of every startup well. So if you're doing it wrong in any of these 7 key areas, you're most likely to lead your startup to fail. But you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't feel bad. The fact that you're here tonight is because you're going to get the help that you need. And I'm going to really share a lot for you. I'm going to pour in a whole lot of information that's very valuable, that out there people would charge you to get to learn these things. But I'm going to let you know so that you have a better chance at actually succeeding. And out of that 90%, you're going to find yourself in the top 10% that actually make it. So let's make some progress. So number 1 key area that startups actually mess up and end up failing in are teams. Now, teams are something very dear to me because teams have a great, tremendous effect on the end. These 4 reasons within the key area of teams happen to be leading factors as to why startups actually fail because of not having their teams right. And you're looking at the screen and probably going to read through, but please take time to hear me and understand this. The first thing is lack of competence of the team members. Okay, lack in competence. Now, what competence is competence is the ability to do the work. Okay, that's what competence is. So if I say you're competent at programming, it means you've got the skills required to actually program. If I say you're competent at secretarial work, it means you have those skills and are able to do the work. So it's your ability to do work. That's what called. Now, many startups sometimes have got people that are available, but people that are not competent to actually deliver the job. And as a startup, remember tonight, I want to teach you, I want to show you both sides of the coin. So I'm going to show you what people do to fail, and I'm going to give you the recommendation. As a startup, you need to be very careful when picking the people to start your teams with. Be able to look at people who complement your skill areas, people who can do some of the things that you cannot do. So if you as a startup founder, as the visionary, as the idea person, have got a dream, have got a direction, one of the things that you should be pushing for is to have competent people in areas that you are not strong in. When we started Make Life, some of the people we got on board are people that are complementing skills that I don't have as a founder. When you look at the people in our board of directors, we've got people that are strong in marketing. talk of the Mutale Capasso. We've got people that are strong in the consultancy, Mr. Capasso, and we've got so many people that come together. We have someone strong in the financial sector, leading at African Life Insurance, and there's different people that make up our board team, that make up our management team. So we've built people of competence, and it becomes very important because now you start seeing how that becomes effective. There are people among us that understand documents very well. And so whenever we're doing that, we always run it through such people. So you need to be, as a startup, you need to think of how competent are the people I'm bringing in my team? How are they complementing? Don't just get people on your team because they're your friends, because they're your family. Get them in because they are competent to do the work. Because if you have a team that's not competent to do the work, you're going to end up failing. Another reason is the lack of experience. So the question I would ask is, are any people in your team, do you have any experience with the type of business you're trying to get into? You're trying to get into the food industry. You're trying to get into construction. Has any of you had any level of experience? Before I went all out in management consultancy, I went to get experience. I worked for a bit, then I went and offered my services voluntarily for a management firm that deals with that. And I told them, I'm here to learn, and I often say that I didn't go like a spy. And I went to learn because you need to have experience. And in the book that I've written, Idea Capital Development, the first book I wrote, I talk about this. And I talk about how it's important to gain the knowledge within your space. In business, the term we use is domain knowledge. Do you or any of the members on your team have domain knowledge? Have you experienced the particular problem you're trying to solve for? Okay, don't just say, I'm going to offer loans as a service. Have you ever experienced the need of a loan? Have you ever had experience in servicing loans as a business? So it's either, if you don't have it, make sure you have people that actually have that experience. Okay. Then the other thing is little experience. This is where your experience is just little. So there's lack of experience, which is just like horrible. Then there's little experience. You have little experience at carrying out that service, at selling that product. So make sure you get some level of experience. Do some work for your business, either you or the people in your team. For us, we've decided to well balance our teams such that people have been exposed. That those who are well exposed with media, have worked with movie TV, have worked with different platforms, and they're now part of Make Life. So it's very important to key in those things. Another thing is people that lack, for example, personal problems. So sometimes businesses and startups fail because the personal problems overwhelm the business. If you're a startup founder, you need to learn how to separate some of your personal life matters and from your business. If you're a student, you have to learn how to manage those things. Don't let school get in the way of your business. Don't let your personal problems choke your business. Many startups fail because the founders and the people that are formed in the company have not separated it. Picture you want your fellow team members to come and they tell you, no, I'm home, I'm doing A, B, C, D. It becomes very hard. And so you need to learn how to not have your personal problems mess out the business. I hope we're learning. If you're learning, go ahead and tell me to say, yes, learning. I want to see if I should keep on going on. I always like to make sure that I'm committing to give what's relevant in the time. If you're already being helped, go ahead and say, yes, learning in the what's in the chat so that I can keep on. Great. I see people saying yes. Great. So and I can keep on moving. Manuel says, yes, learning are great. So let me show you the other things. The second thing, timing. Now, timing is actually, according to Bill Gross, he says that this is the most single biggest reasons why startups actually fail or win. And Bill Gross is someone that I actually look up to. He started Idea Lab, and I love what him and his team have done. And one of the things he keys after the research they did, the research showed that out of many key areas, timing actually was one of the biggest reasons why startups fail. And saying this, so failure to launch at the right step actually fails. And how you know that you are launching it at the wrong time is that when you launch out your business, your product, it is not at your market, your space, your environment is not yet ready to accommodate it. And the best example I can give, an example that Bill Gross gave himself. So they wanted to start up an entertainment company online called Z Entertainment. So that was around the and was speeded up and actually hired some celebrities to do some content. But then because of how slow broadband was, the business, shortly after that, the Adobe and YouTube launched by Google has become very successful today. Why? Because their timing was so okay. They came at a time when internet was fast. So in as much as you may be so excited about your idea, say I'm going to do this, and it's overwhelming you, it's blowing your mind, you know that it's a great idea, it gets you excited, it gets you up. Sometimes you need to stop and say, is this the right time for this idea? You know, is this the right time? Be able to observe things. Normal in my book, Idea Capital Development, I talk about foresight, insight, and oversight on your idea. You need to have all those three. You need to have the insight into your idea. How well prepared is your environment? You need to have an oversight, look ahead of things, and understand. And I talk about listening to the environment, keeping your ears to the ground. What's trending? What's not trending? So when you have that idea, I'll give another example about timing. In the session that I did last week, those of you that are in the session, I'm going to take time to share at the end of this the link to join the WhatsApp group so that you don't miss out. The ICD Entrepreneurs WhatsApp group, so that you can be part and parcel of what's going on. So that you can just request it for me in the group, and I'm going to have someone share it with you so that you do not miss out. Okay? And we looked at the reasons why companies like Airbnb actually survived and made it, and what actually made them popular. When Airbnb started, and I'll give you examples even just within Zambia as well. When Airbnb started in the States at the time, there was a great recession. I've just shared in the chat box a link to the ICD Entrepreneurs WhatsApp group in case you are not already present in there. What happened was this. Many people thought it wasn't going to work because initially everyone said, who would rent their house to a stranger, their apartment to a stranger? But the recession made it so difficult for people such that they ended up considering their houses for rent for strangers to completely rent out. And I talked about 10 different things that you can do, opportunities that you can do post-recession. And last week was an entire exhaustion of the right timing. I talked about how you can become a virtual assistant. I talked about how you can become a knowledge broker. I talked about a number of things. So those of you who missed, make sure that you get to hear that session. So failure to launch at the right time can be very detrimental to your progress startup. The third thing, idea. Now, many startups fail by idea not being right. And three particular things I want to share here. Number one, the idea is not before disruption. How disruptive is your idea? And let me just share a bit about it. When we talk about an idea being disruptive, it means it's an idea that's different. It's an idea that has got this unique value proposition that is not common. It's an idea that doesn't look like the others. Many businesses because you're business. There's nothing startups are failing. To talk about this a lot. Value proposition. I actually have for writing the best unique value proposition. If you get a call us at Make Live and need help for us to be able to help you key that, I'll share with you. But let me just share with you the understanding behind that formula. You can't Okay, hello, sorry, I got cut off for a while. Hope I'm audible enough. Great. Let me continue. So your idea should be different, should be disruptive. And by disruptive, you must have a unique value proposition. It's not enough for you to say that we are cheaper than our competitors. Your competitor can also just say we are cheaper and become cheaper. So that's not really unique at the most part. And many people have told you, make sure you're cheaper, better, faster. Quite okay, those things are great. But when you're looking for unique value proposition, a real disruptive idea, it must go beyond those particular reasons, especially as a startup. Because normally as a startup, sometimes you haven't even yet got traction. Your idea is still at an ideation stage. So you need to make sure you have a disruptive idea, something that will make you look different, an idea that's not unique at all. Okay, it's different from disruption. Disruption means it's something that's breaking the status quo. Your idea not being unique, it means that any person use it. So this is where you find sometimes you need certain intellectual property, have things unique about your business that are unique to you as well. Then the third thing is that it's not incremental. We'll talk about incremental ideas. Some startups fail because they are not building upon their innovation. Today they're doing one thing, and after years they're not doing something different. And you see companies have fallen off. Back in the days when we are young, there were companies like, and they're still actually there today, Just Chicken and Hungry Lion were competing. Okay, apologies on that. Today we didn't get the, I noticed late that we had not renewed our paid license, but we're going to work with this tonight and then we'll get a paid one by next week. So if you get logged out, make sure you log back in. So not incremental. So you find Just Chicken and Hungry Lion while in competition. But Just Chicken were not improving what their offerings over. Did an entire rebrand and they did little more. And that's what kept Hungry Lion in business. You need to, let me move on because of time. The fourth thing is the business model. Some startups fail because you have picked the wrong business model. And your business model, this is simply how you're going to make money as a business, okay? Your business model is how you are going to make money as a business. I hope the network is fine for most people. I kind of feel many people are being kicked out and kicked back in. I hope we can resolve that later. So the fourth thing is the business model. We'll share the recording. The business model is very, very key. And this is how you make money. Let me share some examples. Sometimes your business model can be a customer loyalty based program. It could be subscriptions or a membership fee that someone pays, or it could be a once-off payments, So those are business models. So what model do you pick for your business? So you need to understand that certain industries have got certain business models that are better for them. For example, a business like gym, if you own a gym, the best type of payment model is normally a subscription-based model, a membership-based model. And the best way is that you need to be able to allow people to pay an annual fee and pay less. Do you know why? It's because people won't go to the gym every single day of the year. So you make more when you tell them to say, pay 12 months in advance and pay maybe just say $500, just throwing it out there. All right. You know that sometime in June, maybe they won't come. Sometime in May, they won't come. So you need to have the right business model. So if as a gym who offers a service like that, that people don't always use every single time of the year, if you are charging them only when they come, there are going to be times that you're going to run out of business because people won't be able to pay because they're not coming. So your business model is very important. Pick the right business model. The fifth thing is the funding, okay? We're talking about ignorance on how to raise funds. Now, funding in this day and age isn't a very hard thing, despite what most of you may think. It is easier to get funded today, and I'm a testament of that. We've won some money through funding, grant funding, and we consistently interact with different funding options and are looking to start funding startups ourselves. Funding options are dimes in the dozens today, but the challenge is that many startups don't know how to raise the funds. We are having a product called Kumbuka Lane where we'll be teaching startups on how to become more investable. So watch out for that. I'm going to introduce you to that. The website is already done for the most part. We're just looking to do a major launch when the time is right. But the goal is this: you need to learn how to become more investable as a business, how to write your pitch deck and pitch to investors. So many startups are failing because, in as much as they've had some of these things, maybe they have the right team, they have the right ideas, they have all that, but they do not know how to actually get the funding. They don't know where to go. So ignorance is killing many startups. Many opportunities are available for you. Bongo Hive is actually providing so many opportunities for Zambian startups. Kukula Capital in Zambia is doing a lot as well towards investing. They are venture capitalists. Okay, very soon we'll be telling you about what we are doing as well as Make Life to actually fund you. But the goal is funding is there, but how knowledgeable are you about how to raise funds? Begin to study into this and learn, or just come to Make Life and let us help you so that you skip through all the jargon of having to take time, years and years and years to actually learn that. You can come through and we can help you with that. But whichever way you pick, make sure that you learn how to fund. The sixth thing is the market. Many startups are failing because they are not having the right market. And two things here: they have an undefined market. I consistently tell you to say, have an ideal dark customer. I always say this in every session that I have when I'm talking anything close to market. Your market must be defined. Who exactly is your customer? It must be precise. You don't have to target every single many startups fail because their market is no whatsoever. So you need to look for how it's more addressable. When you're going into your business, ideas that are too Hello, everyone. Sorry, I think today we're just having a whole lot of challenges with our session. I don't know if it's yeah. I think there's a lot of people facing the challenges. Let me just try to make sure that we are able to share the screen again. Yeah. Okay, great. Sorry for that, people. We normally don't have challenges like this for the most part. And I hope there's true enough time. Okay, great. I hope we're all following. Let me just check if we're still on board. Yes, great. So we're looking at market and we're about to be done anyway. And the thing is that it means that our product, don't go into a market where only 100 people within a space, Lusaka, for example, will buy your product. You must be thinking of, does this particular product actually have a market? Sometimes an idea may be good for Livingstone, but it may not be good for Lusaka. It may be good for Northern Province, but not good for Kawe. So you need to ask yourself, is this an addressable market? What's the size of the market? Okay, and when you think about addressable market, then you also now say, is it, how big is the serviceable market or the target market? And that's the most important thing. The target market is actually the people that will buy from you. So make sure that when you have an idea, today investors are looking to invest in businesses that are scalable. On every discussion panel I've had with investors, one of the big things, so you need to be thinking of how to scale ideas. Is your idea able to reach the globe? And in a day like today, you should be thinking, can my idea reach South Africa? Can it go to Malawi? Can it go abroad? Whenever you're designing a product in this day and age, think of how addressable your market is. Let me move to the last thing and we conclude so that we can just take a few questions and get to work on our account for next week. Okay. Awesome. So the last thing, many startups sometimes fail because of the product. And that's because the product is not meeting the right market. All right. And your product becomes very, very important. This is like your baby as a company. And some businesses will start on well, people will buy the product, but then they will hate the product so much they won't want to buy it again. I don't know if there's any one of you who's ever bought it again. You felt so bad that you actually out, it's not doing that. What happens then? If you're like me, you probably will never buy a product from that particular person again. And many businesses lose a lot of customers because they sell bad products. Make sure that if you're going to sell a product, make sure it's the best. If you sell it, make sure that when the person uses it, it's everything you said it